Is Stellar XLM, Stellar Lumens, a good investment here in 2022 with this overall market pullback? So, right now, during these times, it's the best time to learn about new cryptocurrencies that maybe you didn't learn about back in 2021 because we were so much enthralled by the market performing so well, right? But right now, this is the time to learn while the market is pulling back. And one of the cryptos that I've been diving into is XLM. Okay. And bear with me in this video. There will be a lot of documentation and reading, but I am promising you, you are going to learn something in this video about XLM and Stellar if you're new to its ecosystem. And mind you, I'm still learning. So we're learning together. That's why I built this channel in the first place, so we can learn together and navigate these crypto waters in unison, right? So with all that being said, I'll be right back, and we're going to jump into Stellar and its fascinating approach to financial inclusion. All right, so we're going to get into it here in just a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, so Stellar Lumens. Together, XLM and Stellar strive to achieve greater financial inclusivity by connecting entities ranging from merchants and financial institutions to individual users, especially those without access to traditional banking services. Okay, this is coming from Grayscale, of course, a huge institutional investment company that also invests heavily into cryptocurrency. Their favorites are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. Those are their top three holdings, by the way. However, we're going to talk about XLM and Stellar and what those differences are. I know you're probably already thinking that, right? So we're going to dive into some very interesting information. This is coming right from stellar.org, the website. So let's start with a little brief introduction, an intro to Stellar. Okay. Stellar is an open source network for currencies and payments. Stellar makes it possible to create, send, and trade digital representations of all forms of money. That means dollars, pesos, Bitcoin, anything, any currency. It's designed so all the world's financial systems can work together on a single network. Sounds pretty amazing, right? Now, Stellar has no owner. It is completely decentralized. If anything, it's owned by the public. The software runs across a decentralized open network and handles millions of transactions each and every day. Similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, Stellar relies on blockchain to keep the network in sync, but the end user experience is more like cash. Stellar is much cheaper, faster, and more energy efficient than typical blockchain systems as well. Now, what is Stellar for? Well, the Stellar network actually launched way back in 2014, so it's been around now for 8+ years. Since then, it's processed more than 2 billion operations made by over 6.5 million individuals. Large enterprise companies and companies as small as single dev startups have chosen Stellar to move money and access new markets. Now, the network does have a native digital currency. That is the Lumen, right? Stellar Lumen. That's required in small amounts for initializing accounts and making transactions. You can read more about that here if you want to dive into the Lumen story. But beyond those requirements, Stellar doesn't privilege any particular currency. It is specifically designed to make traditional forms of money, the money people have been spending and saving for centuries, more useful and accessible and quickly transferable as well. For example, here's what you could do with Stellar. You can actually create a digital representation of a US dollar on Stellar. We've heard all these talks about a digital dollar coming soon, right? Well, this could actually be done on Stellar. You'd call this the dollar token or something similar. And you could tell the world that whenever someone deposits a traditional dollar with you, you'll issue them one of your new tokens. It literally allows for this. Now, if we jump over to Stellar, we could see that right now it is ranked in the top 25. XLM is the ticker symbol, Stellar the company, Lumen the currency. ranked number 24 right now, trading hands at around 12 cents. It's actually right at a similar price point than Crow. And it's actually situated near Crow in terms of the top 25. As you can see, Kronos is ranked number 23, Stellar ranked number 24. Both of these just above Near, Cosmos, and Algorand. By the way, we'll come back to Algorand in a little bit. But Stellar has had an interesting past in terms of its, rise way back in 2017, actually 2018, is when it set its all-time highs. It, along with XRP, which again, we'll come back to that one in just a minute, they both were the big winners in 2017 and 2018. So Stellar set its all-time high back then, but here had another big run up in 2021's bull run where it reached just over 70 cents. But again, back in 2018, got all the way to 90 cents. So let's dive into also some other pieces to the Stellar story. And this to me is the most fascinating. So by now you may have heard of ISO 22. And right now they are categorizing 5 compliant cryptos that are ISO 22 compliant. We're going to talk about what that means here in this video as well. There may be some other ones that are compliant, but we don't have a real understanding if they are just yet. They're rumored to be, but we have a couple here that definitely are, and Stellar is one of them. So the world of institutional global wire transfers and cryptos have long stood at odds with one another. The advent of crypto threatens to unseat international money wiring as a central service. Why? Well, when you wire money, you have to wait for the banks. The banks sometimes take 3, 4, 5 days for a wire to go through. But with crypto, as we all know, I can send money instantly across the world and it will get to somebody's account like right now, right within seconds. So what are the crypto assets to buy in order to best benefit from this upcoming standard, which is ISO 22, which they're trying to formulate a global payment system utilizing blockchain technology. And we know what Stellar provides. That's why they have a seat at the table. So ISO stands for the International Organization of Standardization, and it's behind the creation of the ISO 22 standard. So institutions all over the world use their different languages for coding, which can make international transfers a very jumbled and disorganized process. However, ISO 22 would like to consolidate all of these messaging formats into one single language. Even the SWIFT system, the SWIFT company, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications, put its support behind the standard back in 2018. The organization is migrating its members to ISO 22. Okay. So the U.S. government is also helping to greatly expedite the adoption of ISO 22 as well, as the Federal Reserve Board is saying now that Federal Reserve banks will adopt the standard in late 2023. Okay, think about that. The Federal Reserve says they will adopt this in 2023. So, 2 cryptocurrencies are not just compliant with ISO 22, but in fact, they are members of the ISO 22 standards body. These currencies, you may have heard of them, are Ripple, XRP, and Stellar Lumens XLM. Now, we know what's going on, with Ripple. Ripple is in a heated battle with the SEC. Thus far, Stellar has not found itself in any kind of drama like that. Ripple's the first of the 2 to be added to this body, opening up standardization for distributed ledger technology. Now, Stellar is part of this body through IBM, which uses Stellar to underlie its stablecoin issuing operation. There are some concerns that maybe Stellar, in fact, is a stablecoin, but in terms of the price action that we've seen over the past 5 years, that would be enough to refute that claim. At least that's what's being said, right? I'm still understanding Stellar completely too, but hopefully you're gaining some value here already. If you are, hit that like button. We're going to close up shop here in just a few. Other cryptos that are compliant with ISO 22 include XDC, IOTA, and Algorand. There are 3 other cryptos rumored to be compliant, but these cryptos are not yet officially listed as such. They include HBAR, Quant, and Cardano. So full disclosure of this list, I do not own Stellar. I do own a little bit of XRP. I do own Algorand. I do own HBAR, and I do own Cardano. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, right? But it looks like anything that is ISO 22 compliant could be safe in terms of the future regulations that are to come, right? At least that's what we expect. But that's what I've got for you here in the video. Let me know what you're thinking about all of this down below. I'll continue to do some research on Stellar. I am really looking closely at adding this one to my portfolio. It's XLM Stellar Lumens. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comment section. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Thank you so much for stopping back.